Hey, what's up, plant lovers? If you've ever looked at your houseplants and thought, man, I wish I had more of these, without spending a dime, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to walk you through 17 of the easiest houseplants to propagate. That means snipping, rooting, and boom new plants, fast. Some of these root in just a few days, and trust me, once you start, it gets weirdly addictive. I've basically turned my windowsill into a mini jungle, and it didn't cost me a thing. So grab your scissors, your favorite jar, and let's get propagating. African Violet is first on the list stand. Yeah, this one's a total classic. You don't need any fancy tools. Just gently twist off a healthy leaf from the base. Don't yank it. Just a little wiggle and it pops right off. Then stick that leaf in some moist soil at a slight angle. Leaf side up, stem down. In a few weeks, you'll start to see tiny baby plants popping up right at the base like magic. I usually keep mine in a warm, bright spot, but out of direct sun, and I miss the top to keep the humidity up. Honestly, it's one of the most satisfying plants to multiply because they go from one little leaf to a whole new plant family pretty fast. Golden Pothos is hands down one of the easiest plants to propagate like. You almost can't mess it up. Just snip a vine right below a node, that little bump where the leaf meets the stem. Make sure there's at least 1 or 2 leaves on it. Drop that cutting into a glass of water, making sure the node's submerged, and boom, you're off to the races. Within a week or so, you'll start to see roots forming, and they grow fast. Once those roots are a couple inches long, you can pot it up into soil and watch it take off. I've got Pothos cuttings growing in random mugs and jars all over the house. It's just that easy. Silver Satin Pothos, or Syndopsis if you want to get fancy, is another super chill plant to propagate. Just like with Golden Pothos, you'll want to cut right below a node. Those are the little nubby spots along the vineyard. Make sure each cutting has a healthy leaf or 2. Pop that cutting in water, and be patient. This one's a little slower to root than Golden, but it still gets the job done without much fuss. You'll start seeing roots in about 2 to 3 weeks, and once they're a couple inches long, it's ready for soil. I love how the silver markings on the leaves stay vibrant even on the baby plants. Look so good in a hanging basket. Heartleaf Philodendron is an absolute breeze to propagatoriously. It's like the plant wants to multiply. Just take a healthy vine and snip it right below a node. Same drill as Pothos, and make sure there's at least 1 leaf on each cutting. Drop it in water, and you'll start seeing little roots in about a week sometimes, even sooner if it's warm. I've had great luck just sticking a few cuttings into one pot and letting them fill in like a mini jungle. They're super forgiving, so even if you forget about them for a bit, they bounce right back. Plus, those heart-shaped leaves, total vibe. Wax plant, also called Hoyais, one of those underrated propagators that people don't talk about enough. The key is to take a cutting with at least 1 node and a couple of leaves, then let the cut end dry out for a day so it calluses over. After that, you can stick it in a well-draining soil mix, or even pop it in water, though soil usually works best for me with this one. It takes a little longer to root like. Don't expect overnight results, but once it gets going, it really takes off. I keep mine in bright, indirect light, and just mist the top now and then to keep humidity up. And once it starts growing, those thick, glossy leaves just look amazing hanging from a shelf or climbing up a trellis. Arrowhead Vine, or Syngonium, is one of those plants that basically begs to be propagated. It grows fast, it roots fast, and it looks awesome while doing it. Just snip a section of the vine right below a node, make sure there's a leaf or 2 on there, and drop it in a jar of water. You'll usually see roots starting in a week or so, and once they're a couple inches long, go ahead and pot it up. I like to group a few cuttings together in one pot, so it looks nice and full right from the start. They do love a bit of humidity, so I usually keep them near my kitchen window or in the bathroom. Super easy, super rewarding. Echeveria is a succulent superstar when it comes to easy propagation like. You don't even need to cut anything most of the time. Just gently twist off a healthy leaf from the base, make sure it comes off clean with no tear, and lay it flat on some dry cactus soil. Let it sit for a couple days to callus over, then give it a light mist every few days. After a week or two, you'll start seeing tiny roots and baby rosettes forming right at the base of the leafia. It's wild. Once the baby's big enough, you can pot it up. Epidendrum Orchid might sound fancy, but it's actually one of the easiest orchids to propagate, especially if you've got a mature plant that's throwing out keikis, which are like little baby plants growing off the stem. Once the keiki has a few roots that are a couple inches long, you can carefully snip it off the mother plant and pot it up on its own. I use a chunky orchid mix, give it a light mist, and keep it in bright, indirect light. It'll take a bit to settle in, but once it does, you've got a whole new orchid ready to go. And the cool part? These guys are tough compared to other orchids. They're more forgiving in bloom, like champs once established. Rex Begonia is a total show-off with those wild, colorful leaves in the best part. You can propagate it straight from a single leaf. Just snip a healthy leaf and either cut it into sections with a main vein in each piece or lay the whole leaf flat on moist soil, then pin it down gently so it makes contact. Keep the humidity up-like. Throw a clear container or bag over it, and in a couple weeks, you'll start seeing tiny plantlets forming at the vein points. It's kind of like plant magic. Once they're big enough to handle, you can separate and pot them up. It takes a bit of patience, but man, the results are totally worth it. Spider plant is one of the easiest plants to propagate, and it's honestly kind of fun because it just keeps giving you these baby plantlets or pups all the time. When you see those little pups popping up on the long stems, just snip one off, making sure it's got its own little roots. You can either pot it straight into some soil or put it in water to encourage more roots to grow. It's super fast. Within a week or two, you'll see it start to grow and fill in. I've got spider plants all over the house because they just keep giving and growing, and they're pretty low maintenance too. It's like free plants for life. Coleus is an awesome plant for propagation. Super fast and super easy. All you have to do is snip a healthy stem, about 4-6 inches long, just below a node. Remove the lower leaves and stick it in a glass of water. In a week or so, you'll start seeing roots pop out, and once those roots are a couple inches long, you can plant it in soil. The cool thing about Coleus is how quickly it bounces back once it starts rooting. It grows like crazy. Plus, you get to enjoy all those vibrant, colorful leaves in no time. It's like having a fresh batch of plants every few weeks. Jade Tree, or jade plant, is a total winner when it comes to propagation. It's like the easiest succulent to multiply. Just cut a healthy stem or leaf, let it dry out for a day or two so it calluses over, and then plant it in some well-draining soil. It's super low maintenance, just water it lightly every week or so, and in a few weeks, you'll start seeing roots form. The best part is that once they're rooted, they grow pretty quickly. I've got a few of these growing in my kitchen, and they're so easy to care for. Plus, it's cool to watch them turn into little trees over time. Holiday cactus, like the Christmas or Thanksgiving cactus, is super easy to propagate, and it's a great way to get more of those bright blooms. All you need to do is snip a few segments from a healthy stem, just 1 or 2 joints will do. Let the cut end dry out for a day or so to avoid rot, then stick it in some well-draining soil. Water it lightly, and in a couple weeks, you'll see roots starting to form. Once it's settled in, you'll get a nice new cactus, and after a few months, you might even catch a few blooms. These things grow pretty fast, and it's fun to see them flower year after year. Wandering Dude, or Tradescantia, is one of those plants that just makes propagation too easy. All you gotta do is snip off a healthy section of the stem, making sure there's a few leaves and a node or two. Stick that cutting in a glass of water, and within a week or two, you'll see roots forming like crazy. You can even toss it in some soil right away if you want, but I like to let the roots get a good head start. These guys grow fast, too, so in no time, you'll have a new plant ready to hang or trail, and the leaves, they're just gorgeous, especially that purple underside. Snake plant, or Sansevieria, is probably one of the most forgiving plants to propagate. You can't mess this one up. Just take a healthy leaf, cut it into a few sections, each about 3-4 inches long, and stick those in a jar of water or directly into soil. If you go with water, you'll see roots within a week or so, and if you plant them in soil, just keep it lightly moist until they start rooting. Snake plants are tough, so even if you forget about them for a little while, they'll bounce back. Plus, once they start growing, you'll have more of those tall, striking leaves filling up your space. String of Hearts is one of those plants that just loves to spread, making propagation super easy. All you need to do is snip a few healthy sections of the vines, making sure each piece has a couple of nodes. You can place them directly in water, or lay them on top of some well-draining soil. After a week or so, you'll start seeing tiny roots, and maybe even some new growth. The cool part is that these vines grow fast once they get going, and before you know it, you've got a whole new string of hearts hanging around. They're super low maintenance too, so you don't have to stress too much while waiting for them to root. Mother of Thousands is pretty much the definition of easy propagation. This plant literally grows baby plants right on the edges of its leaves. Yeah, it's wild. All you need to do is gently pull off one of those little plantlets, and you can either plant it directly in soil or start it in water. They root super fast, and honestly, they're almost too easy to propagate. In no time, you'll have a bunch of these little guys popping up all around your home. Just make sure they get a little sunlight and not too much water, and they'll thrive, turning into full-grown plants in no time. So that's it. 17 houseplants you can easily propagate to grow your plant collection fast. Honestly, these plants make it so simple, and with just a little patience, you'll have a whole new batch of greenery to enjoy. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more plant tips. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next one.